Plaintiff Mernisha Cheers dated the defendant for 4 years, but she claims the entire time he was living a double life. Mernisha says the defendant got engaged to his witness behind her back, and she's suing him today for a cell phone bill. Defendant Michael Ennis says the only reason Mernisha is suing him is because she's jealous that he has moved on with his life, and as a result, she's been keeping their children from him. Michael denies owing Mernisha.
Start with you.
I dated Michael Ennis. For the most part, all while I was working, he was cheating. I didn't know he led a double life. He presented me with a promise ring.
After knowing you how long?
After knowing him for a total of maybe 4 years, he presented me with a promise ring.
Yeah, you needed a little more than a promise ring at 4 years.
I told him that.
Promise ring is no more than a year.
Right.
Go ahead.
I told him that. Later on, I found out about the double life part where he was engaged to another lady, and he presented the promise ring that he gave to me to her as an engagement ring.
He don't look like he got that kind of game. But all right, go ahead. And so, how did you discover that?
It was some phone records I seen. I called the first number off the phone records, which happened to be his current fiance. I talked to her a little bit.
Let me ask, had you found him to cheat in the past?
Yes, I had.
Over the 4 years, how many
yes.
times did you catch him?
I caught him once before. A lady called me while I was at work on a midnight shift.
How long ago?
This was in 2016.
And then you find out what about?
She told me that
you called her.
Yep.
She picked up the phone.
She called me at work. I answered the phone. She told me that she wanted to know who I was. I let her know who I was. I was his fiance. I presented myself as fiance. I let her know that he stayed with me, and she began to tell me who she was. She dated him for 3 weeks, and
at that point,
I came home that morning and confronted him about the situation, and he denied it. He told me that this was just a friend, somebody he had she was infatuated with him or whatever.
Why did he go rogue after 3 years? He was doing all right the first 3 years. And then everything, all these women, he started cheating in the 4th year.
This is what the explanation he told me. He told me I worked too much.
How many hours a week do you
I was paying all the bills. He was at home.
Why?
I allowed him to stay home the first year because he wanted
to. Oh my God. Why?
He was trying to pull a disability, and he was watching the kids. So it was more profitable for me to go out because he had felonies, and it was harder for him to find jobs. So I took the role of being a provider and going out and getting
the leader of the household.
Yes.
All right, and he stayed there and played videos with the kids.
And text messages and everything else that he did on the side, yes.
Drink beer, okay. So how many hours a week were you working?
I was working 40, maybe sometimes 50 hours a week.
No, that ain't nothing. He was just using that as an excuse.
Yeah, he set the time frame when he did finally find a job. He told me that our time frame wasn't in sync.
So, tell me your story, sir.
Your Honor,
then we're going to get to the cell phone bill. Go ahead.
The whole reason we're here today, it's out of jealousy. I've moved on with my life with my new fiance. She's jealous. She's been keeping my kids from me because of this incident. I haven't seen my daughters in
Give me the background on the incident. She says you up and start cheating because you told her because she was working too much to provide for you.
Yeah, she's been insecure since the beginning of our relationship. We met through a dating site, so I have emails coming from dating sites from before we got together, and she, the whole 4.5 years we were together, she would go through my phone, my emails, and swear that I was cheating on her. Never happened.
How about your current fiance?
Yes.
I mean, when did you all meet? Were you seeing her same time you were seeing her?
Me and Ms. Cheers had been off and on at that point for over a year.
Okay.
When I had met her.
And why were you all off and on? She gives the impression it's only because of your cheating.
We worked opposite shifts. She worked midnights, I worked days. And like she said,
everybody's off and on then. That means everybody is off. When I go to work, I'm off with my marriage.
Right.
So whenever you don't work the same shift, the relationship is off.
Well,
that night.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir. So you were up and down, and when did you meet your current fiance?
I met her in November of 2017.
And when did you propose marriage to her?
January 2018.
3 months later.
Yes, sir.
And you want to know why she's upset after you strung her out for 4 years, still only gave her a promise ring, and you get
engaged
within 90 days.
Your Honor, over the 4 years...
Not only is she upset with you,
jealous.
She probably cares for you. No offense, ma'am, and it doesn't appear to be the case. You're well-groomed, you have a nice smile, but she could be on crack. And you don't know.
Yes, sir.
A person can hide a crack habit up to a year. Seriously. All right, and tell me about the cell phone bill.
Mike was the sole provider of the cell phone bill that I opened for him. He asked me for this bill.
You opened an account.
I opened an account
in your
for
name
Mike
for
in
his benefit.
Yes. He had possession of an iPhone 8. When I found out about his current fiance in June that he did not want this phone any longer.
That's not correct.
He said that's not correct. He said he wanted you to keep paying for it after he had ran off and got a woman for 90 days and get engaged to. He said that's not correct that he wanted it off. That means the opposite is he wanted it on.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I had to suspend the line. I asked him several times through text messages. I asked him through family members, could he please return the phone? And I asked him, could he just pay a little on the bill? Because he was going in between jobs. I knew he didn't have all the bill, so I just asked, could he keep it off my credit record? Just pay the bill as much as he can. He told me that he was not giving me the phone until he sees his kids. And that's when this case began.
Do you stop him from seeing his kids? Do you withhold visitation from him?
Yes, sir, she does.
If so, why?
I didn't hold visitations from him. He asked to see his kids. I asked
Your Honor, I missed my second.
Quiet, sir.
I asked him to pay the phone bill. When I asked his
What
mother,
did doing anything?
it didn't. But what it started it when I said, turn the phone in.
When did she start playing games with the kids?
This year. Okay. She shut my phone off.
I'm talking about the kids. Don't nobody care about that phone.
At that point...
Oh, you don't need to talk. I don't care if you never talk. Okay. Tell me about the children. You're the one over here turning and twisting about she kept my kids, she kept my kids. And all you want to talk about is this phone.
June of 2018, she started keeping me from my kids.
Why? What was the reason? Be quiet. What was the reason?
It was after she had found out about my fiance that she started keeping my kids from me.
That was the first time?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Does she have a history of doing that? All right, ma'am, and your anger should never lead you to that. You only hurt the children.
Right,
you don't hurt him at all. He's fine. In fact, you let him off whatever hook he might want to otherwise get off of.
Yes.
Some men don't want to see their children as frequently as the children might want to see them.
He uses
so
them,
it's
Your
easy
Honor.
to say, your mama won't let me see you, when in fact you might, or it may be temporary. So don't do that, all right?
Right.
All right, don't mess that up, because you'll damage them perhaps permanently. Now, sir, what do you want to tell me about the phone?
Your Honor, the phone bill I had kept paid up to date. When she shut off the phone, I felt that was a breach of contract. Because she shut it off in May for 3 days because I had upgraded the phone.
What do you think she should have done? Let you continue to use it even today? As you bring your fiance here in court today, you think you should be able to leave here and get on that very phone and pass the bill to her?
She was never paid my phone bill. I paid my phone bill.
Okay, you risk her credit on a man who left her after 4 years and gets engaged to a woman after knowing her only 90 days. You expect her to trust you with her credit, which is one of the most important things you can trust a person with. As crazy as you are, she should anticipate that at some point you're going to stop paying and she'll be in a bind. She was smart enough. She knew what to do. And now you're trying to suggest that she should have left it on even after you've left her and run to another woman to get engaged in 90 days. And I'm going to keep repeating it. Ma'am, nothing against you. In fact, that's a compliment for you. You're really doing something. Yeah. So that's a compliment to you, but I'm just saying that you have questionable judgment, in my opinion, and that's why I'm going to grant her judgment. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I just want him to start owning up to his responsibilities. I have no problem with him seeing his children, and the relationship with his children can start anytime he wants.
I just hope she keeps true to letting me see my kids.